Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, we're going to pull in that camshaft out of this Impala here, and I just wanted to go over a few things with you real quick. So let me refresh and show you what I got. So we got this Chevy Impala here, this 75 I think it is, big boat. And we're going to be putting a cam lifters and springs in this thing. So we're going to pull the old cam out, pull the timing chain and that stuff off. However, I want to put everything back together the way it came out, meaning push rods to the rocker arms, rocker arm pivot ball, which is down below that nut, and rocker arm to the valve. Because there's a wear pattern here at the tip of the valve, here at the push rod, and there where that ball sits. I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to show you. If you notice, I got white marks on things there. Those are the intake rockers. Same thing on that side. So what I did find was this box that oil filters came in. So I'm going to put cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rockers and everything else in here. And the reason for the white paint is I make sure I don't mix up which rockers are which. And then I got holes punched through the tops to put the push rods through. So let's start taking it apart and you'll understand what I am talking about. So let's come over here. These are adjustable, just so you know. A lot of people don't realize that these are adjustable. So I don't even know what size they are. I think they're 5/8. But let's just start with the left side here. And I'm pretty sure those are 5/8. Let me just put this box over here for right now. Do I have a 5/8 socket here? That's a good question, my friend. Do I? I think I do. Somewhere. I actually got a spark plug socket. And that'll work just fine. You know why? Because I just happen to have it right here in front of me. So make sure you have your gun set to loosen, because you don't want to tighten up on that. Because if you tighten up on that, and if the piston's all the way up, you could possibly bash the valve into the piston, and then you're going to bend the valve. So we're just going to take these off. Just like that. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can see it with that in the way. So now here comes one that's coming off. So now what I was talking about, on the inside here, you have this pivot ball. I know there's a technical term for it, I can't think of what it's called. But this is kind of mated to this rocker arm. So I want to try to keep that there. This nut is a locking nut, the top is a locking portion. So it always goes down flat side first. A lot of people think it's tapered and put them in this way. That's not how they go. They go this way down. So for this, what I'm going to do, let me back out. Is inside my little box here, I'm going to put this down in passageway number 1. Now, I don't care that the nut fell out. See that? I don't care about that. However, what I do care about is keeping intake and exhaust separate. So, hang on. I care about keeping intake and exhaust separate, so I'm going to put I'm going to put them all together here, but at least this way, when the intake has a white paint, I know going back together that has to go on the intake. So the push rod, I slide the push rod out. I'm going to clean everything before I put it back. But the push rod, basically, all I'm going to do is this. Poke it through the hole. Now I know it sits there. And also, when everything's apart, you can inspect it, make sure that nothing has any wear grooves on it that you need to worry about. So this way, this stays held, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to basically do this with all of these, and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so as you see, everything's out. I have everything in the box here. And just so you see, I took all the nuts from the right side and I kept them separate because it really doesn't matter with the nuts. Everything else, it really, not that it's going to make a huge difference, but you want to try to keep them separate because they already wore to a certain, got a certain wear pattern in them. So now I'm just going to flop this top down, and then I keep this to the side, and then this way when I'm ready, I can start putting all of that back together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the lifters out. We don't care about the lifters. We don't care about keeping them in order because we are changing the camshaft. So let me start yanking those lifters out. And it should be, let me see if I can focus in on that real quick. Let me see if I can't just grab one. Yeah, and they just come right out. And it tells me this thing was rebuilt at some point in time. A lot of times when they start to wear out or they got a lot of mileage on them, the bottom of these become mushroomed and it becomes darn near impossible to get them out of their bores. So, because that's a friction surface right there, so where it rides on the camshaft. So, all right, let me just get these all out. All right, so I have gotten them all out except one. That one's fighting me. I am not quite sure why. Is it mushroomed at the bottom? Does it have carbon buildup on it? I'm not sure. But it'll go down and it'll only come up to about that point and it stops. Oh, there it goes. Ugh. Must have been a little bit of carbon on it. Or sludge or something. Because it doesn't look bad. I think it was just some varnish buildup on it, right down here. But it doesn't look bad. The edge is sharp, I will say that. But back out slightly. It's got some pitting in it. I mean, I can drag my fingernail on that and feel it. I guess we're going to see what the cam lobe looks like once we get the cam out. All right, let me pop that gear off. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, right here. Let me pop that gear off. Hang on one second. I'm just putting stuff away. Or down, I should say. Oh, that's a 1/2 inch. Do I have my 1/2 inch handy? Where is my 1/2 inch? I gotta regroup. I got tools and stuff all over the place. Let's see. All right, this'll work. You see I got the 3 bolts out of the cam gear. Now we don't really care about what the timing is at this point. None of it matters. Let me just grab one of my little persuaders here. Come on. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a small block Chevy at the end of the camshaft here is supposed to have what they refer to as a button. It's a spring-loaded piece to hold the cam in place, and this didn't have one. So, yeah, here's the gear in that. Like I said, we don't really care about timing or anything at this point in time. Let me find a bolt. That I can use to support the camshaft so I could take the camshaft out. Hang on one moment. All right, I'm actually going to move you a little bit. maybe to over here so you can see this. Now the reason you want to support the camshaft when you're pulling it out is as you're pulling it out, there's cam bearings inside the motor. You don't want to bash the cam bearings as you're pulling it out. You'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. But screwing a long bolt in there is going to kind of give you some leverage, something to hold on to. Oh, I forgot to take the fuel pump off. Got to take the fuel pump off because the fuel pump rides on the inside there. So let me knock that fuel pump off real quick. Because the fuel pump has a push rod that runs up and rides on the camshaft. So let me do that. Hang on. All right. Figure you can watch me unbolt the fuel pump too. Yeah, now the cam will come out. Like I said, just be careful with the cam bearings so you don't beat them to death coming apart. At this point, I actually got to take the bolt out of the front, the one I used to help pull it out, because otherwise I'm going to hit the AC condenser. So I'm just unscrewing that right now. And I do got to take the condenser out. Okay. I do got to take the condenser out. All right. There's just not enough room in there. I was hoping it was going to clear, but it won't. All right, let me show you down here real quick, and then I'm going to pause you. Whoops. So the cam comes out, and it wants to hit. It actually fits just below this, but it's going to hit the condenser. So I got to take the condenser out. There's no two ways about it. It's not a big deal at this point because everything else is already out. So let me just take that out. All right, condenser's out of the way. Let's pull this out. And there we go. So I don't know if any lobes are wiped out. I don't think so. I think they all look okay. Give this a little more finite investigation tomorrow. All right, that's going to be it for right now. All right, in typical me fashion, I neglected to make the end of this video. So let me just show you something here. I'm actually at home. I have a cam from a 5.3, which is a roller cam. The cam from that 5.7 is a flat tappet cam. Flat tappet is basically like a friction fit. With a roller cam, you have a roller lifter that rolls over the cam lobe. On a flat tappet, it's a friction fit, basically, and it's used as friction, or lack of friction once they wear in, to open and close the valves. So here, I just want to show you something, and this is kind of what I want to get at, and hopefully you can understand it when I show you the other video that I made in regards to this. So on here, you can see the lobe design. See how heavy the ramp is? How it doesn't come to like a peak and then drop down? That's because this is a roller, and it just changes the angle of the duration and everything else of the valve being open. How fast it opens, the open time, stuff like that. It changes all of that, and how long it could be open. So with a flat tappet, you can't do it as extreme as you can with a roller. A roller is much more forgiving in that sense. That's why everything's roller nowadays. Obviously, roller, you have many more moving parts in terms of you have the roller and the needle bearings and everything else. Whatever. On this, too, you'll notice these cam lobes are very thin, and you notice the wear pattern is pretty centered. I'm going to show you on the other cam the difference. But with this, you can see like the wear pattern is pretty centered. See that? On the other one, you're going to see how it's off to one side. And I will explain the reasoning for that. Now, this doesn't have a gear cut into it for a distributor because 5.3s and 6 liters and 4.8s and all of that, they're all distributorless. This weird thing in the back, this is for the cam sensor. See that? That's for the cam sensor. And it doesn't have anything else, basically. So, not too concerned about it. That cam is pretty much garbage, but it's good for demonstration. So that's going to end this video. I have another video that I'm working on in regards to the camshaft and the different designs and stuff like that. It's not all that in depth. It's just kind of simple stuff to make everybody understand it. There's no reason to get super technical with anything. But yeah, so all right, starting to run off on a tangent like I always do. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, have a great day. Keep wrenching.